Soulmates and podcasts.
We ship that.
Romeo and Juliet, a Montague, a Capulet, are looking for the things they shouldn't find. I don't know, but it's been said, true love messes with your head.
True love does mess with your head. Soulmates and podcasts.
We ship that. And I'm Christine.
And this is the shipping room.
This is your river out of Eden. This truth you've chosen to believe in. This is your
Hi, everyone. Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to our first live stream on YouTube celebrating our 5th anniversary of the shipping room.
Yeah. Happy anniversary, Tamar.
Hey, happy anniversary. I am drinking some champagne out of a coffee mug that I have that says the shipping room on it that I love. And we are going to do this super fun game tonight. We're going to play the newlywed game to see how well we know each other. But before we do that, I'm actually really nervous, but I actually feel like I maybe know you better than I know myself. That's how I felt like coming up with the answers.
Yeah. I mean, I hope I did okay. I hope I was between 2 and 3 on a couple of them.
Yeah,
I was like, I think maybe I picked the right one.
Yeah, same. But before we get started, we got some really nice emails and tweets from listeners over the last 5 years sharing your favorite moments or what the podcast has meant to you. And I think we're just going to take a minute to read some of those together and just kind of share what you guys had to say because it meant a lot to us. So
yeah. I will kick it off with Tish, who sent us a message to say that she's been rocking with us since 2018 and she has loved every moment of it. Our podcast helped her get through the last year of university, and she would listen to our back catalog as she was writing papers and studying for tests. And she says the community that we created on Twitter is amazing, and she loves the fact that she can interact with us, but also so many other listeners, and that she's been introduced to so many ships and shows because of this show. And she said that some of her favorite moments from the past 5 years are when we did Shonda Ships with Justin Kirkland.
That's a good one.
Which was a really good one. And she said that now she's followed him on Twitter ever since. And she also said that we introduced her to the idea of a no TP. So
yes, by the way,
talking about it ever since.
I feel like this podcast introduced me to that idea too. Like I didn't know it existed before. Did we make that up? The no TP?
No TP? No, that's a thing. Yeah, that's one of our shipping terms that we learned when we started the show.
I'm just going to take credit for a lot of things. Celebrate anniversaries. All right, I'm going to read what we got from Lindsay, who said that she loves how the show has created a community of shippers and that she's become internet friends with us, which is also like our favorite part. This was the first podcast that she really got into, and she started listening to it at a time in her life when she was newly living far away from family and was itching for connection and community. And so listening to new episodes feels like catching up with friends, which I love.
Lindsay, you're so sweet. Mary, she said, can I just say that I love that there's a podcast solely devoted to shipping? I've discovered so many great shows and ships because of you.
Yeah, and I feel like we've discovered so many great ships and shows because of our listeners.
Because of you, yeah.
Live both ways, which is awesome. Stace said that when she hears our opening music for the first time in a while during quarantine, she felt like coming home. So that's awesome. And I love that. And I actually, one of the most popular answers in terms of favorite episodes was people said that the music episodes were their favorite. And I think that just kind of goes to show that music makes you feel things.
Definitely does. Andrea shared that one of her favorite memories was getting me to watch my Mad Fat Diary.
That's
Thank
a
you,
good one.
Andrea.
And then you got me to watch it. So
And then I got you to watch it. So really, we have Andrea to thank for my Mad Fat Diary.
yeah. A lot of people, including Mila and Kat, both said that they loved our drunk top 10 episodes. And Kat even remembered that in one of the episodes, we read her top 10 and called her out for having 18 ships on her list. And then Jenna also specifically remembered me announcing that I was totally faking that first time and that I wasn't secretly pregnant.
I
So,
only vaguely recall calling Kat out on 18 ships, and that's
yeah.
probably because I was very drunk,
Right?
and you were not. Wilmer said that one of his favorite episodes was our discussion on 13 Reasons Why. He said, you had a very important conversation about the impact of the show and the domino effects of everyone's actions. It dug deep into all the tough subject matters of the show. It was a phenomenal listen. Thank you, Wilmer.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I like that episode too. Brian has said, I've just loved all the shows and ships this podcast and the community you two have created and introduced me to. So, okay.
Thank you. And Alyssa sent us a message. She sent us a message with some of her favorite moments and also some of her favorite episodes. Her favorite moments was our top 10 drinking game, which seemed to be a very popular answer. And then she also said one of her favorite moments was when I talked about the first time I watched a True Blood. The first 10 minutes of True Blood.
I mean, I feel like we reference it like rather often.
And she said she'd also like to personally thank us for delineating between revivals and reboots, because until she heard that episode of the podcast, she really didn't know the difference, and it was very confusing. I agree. It is very confusing.
I think that conversation clarified things for a lot of us.
Oh, definitely, for sure. Some of her favorite episodes were the Friends to Lovers episodes, the animated ships episode, and that one she specifically called out because I did that episode with my husband, Matt, and it was kind of a precursor to him being a regular guest on Long Live the Heart, my other podcast.
I think that was the first episode we didn't do together, maybe.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, I think there may have been one where like I was out of town and you did.
Oh, and I did the Shameless one.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Yeah. She also loved the Flagships episode, the Bro TPs episode, the Friends to Lovers trope episode, and I think we're going to talk about some of those episodes in our episode that's coming out tomorrow, actually. So
keeping track of the timing of all these things that we recorded at the time, and then this one comes out after. But yeah, we recorded it the other night. It's coming out tomorrow, and that is our final celebration episode where we go through our favorite episodes from the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So. And then I think last but not least is our letter that we got from Fiona, where she actually wrote us a whole letter. I'm going to read some of it, where she said that her favorite moment from our podcast, is the first episode that she listened to 4 years ago. She said she's a lifelong shipper, and when she was young, she would get really invested in ships. And she said she thinks she's a little bit older than we are, so kind of the same time period. There was no YouTube, Twitter, Tumblr. Shipping was a pretty solitary experience for her until her younger sister was old enough to join her. But she says that she would write really bad fanfic that nobody ever read and cut pictures of couples out of magazines and put them in a scrapbook. And she said, I consider that the early 90s version of fan videos, which I
100%. Absolutely.
And it's so true. Like my wall in my bedroom was my Tumblr.
I think my ceiling was covered with pictures of Devon Sawa at some point or another. Yeah.
Mine was also covered. She said her friends would chat casually about TV couples who didn't talk about Ross and Rachel in the early 90s, but none of them seemed to be invested in anyone as much as I was. It worried me sometimes how much I thought about some ships. No one knew I talked about shipping. Of course, we didn't have the vocabulary for it then. And so I assumed I was weird and kept it to myself. Then she said she eventually got the internet at home when she was 15 and did eventually discover what fanfic was. So she realized that she probably wasn't alone entirely. But I've never been an online person, so never connected with anyone or joined any fandom. I just assumed this was probably teenage girl behavior and I would grow out of it. then at age 19, I discovered Josh and Donna, and that was 7 painful years of obsession and angst. And then Fiona goes on. You can kind of imagine where it's going. She talks about just this kind of isolated experience of shipping in private, and that finding our podcast when she was in her 30s was the first time that she like really had this community of shippers to talk to, and other people who got this invested in fictional couples on television and books, whatever it is. And that this was the first time that she really got to connect to people that are similar to her in that way. And that this podcast has created that community online, and that even though she's not an online person, she got on Twitter so that she could partake in these conversations, and that's how she's met other people. So I think it's kind of like amazing to read something like that, and to realize we sort of maybe a little bit had that as a mission when we started this, but really we just wanted to talk about it and how people would respond to it. And so to know that we've created that community, and we get to be a part of it too. Like it's like it's fun for me too, that I now know that there are all these people out there that are like us, because who knew?
Yeah.
So I think that's really awesome.
And then we have a message from our third party tonight, who will be popping in just a second to host our newlywed game for us. And we actually met our third guest here tonight because of this podcast. And now she is one of our closest friends. Rachel Becker sent us a message that said she was giddy giggling when we read her top 10 list on the show.
So funny. This is Rachel who we met at ATX last year, and she has told me, and I'm going to embarrass her before we call her in, but she's told me that she would like knew us from the podcast and like saw me at ATX and was like too embarrassed or shy to come over and say hi. And that then at some point, because we know each other on Twitter, I don't remember exactly what happened. Maybe she can fill it in, but I feel like I was like, oh, come over, we're doing whatever. And so she introduced herself, and now she's hosting the newlywed game.
Yay! Rachel, pop in.
Come on in.
Hi!
Rachel is also still muted, I think.
Rachel is still muted, I think.
You'd think I'd know better.
What's hilarious about that is I was just going to say Rachel is also like our technology person. She's extremely tech savvy, and then you came on and you were still muted, so now I feel like I can't say that. But it is true. She helps us with all of our technical stuff. So
hello. So you guys ready for your first question?
We're getting right.
Yeah.
We're getting right to it.
So
okay, why don't we just explain a little bit?
Yeah. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we asked our closest friend group, and I think a lot of them are probably watching right now. We asked them to give us a list of newlywed game style questions. And if newlywed game is something you've never heard of, because that's completely possible if you don't have like Game Show Network. The Newlywed Game was a TV show where they would ask people in different stages of marriage, like, newlyweds or older couples or couples who are like mid-range in their marriage, whatever. They would ask them questions to see how well they know each other, and they would have to answer questions about each other. And we thought, well, this would be really fun because we've been talking about shipping together for the last 5 years. Let's see how well we know each other based on shipping questions. So our friends were gracious enough to come up with all of these questions that we've answered ahead of time. So, but I don't know what Tamar said, and Tamar doesn't know what I said. So,
the goal is we're gonna each try and guess what the other person's answers are. So do we want to do it like one at a time? Like Christine, I will guess, and then Christine will show hers, and then we'll flip it.
Yeah.
All right. So first question.
Okay, so we started out a little easy. And
don't say that. Don't say that. Then if we get it wrong, then it's easy.
So sorry, not easy. General, generic.
General.
Shipping room typical.
Now I feel nervous. Okay.
Don't be nervous.
Okay.
Who am I directing to first?
I'll guess first.
Okay.
All right.
So who is Christine's favorite ship of all time?
And guys, answer in the chat. Go for it.
Ben and Leslie from Parks and Recreation.
Yay!
I feel like it should have sound effects.
I like actually am nervous. I'm like, I do not want to get it wrong. So, I feel like some of them are very like open for interpretation.
Some of them are, I think. Yeah. Okay, so I took this in two directions because I was like, okay, is it like who's number one on her top 10 currently or like all time? And then I thought a few different ways about this question. So my answer is Brenda and Dylan. No, damn it. Okay, that was my second guess. My second guess was Ian and Mickey because I know that was the ship that like put you down the Tumblr wormhole.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
Brenda and Dylan is like a perfectly fair answer. And I'm sorry I didn't let you say your second one before I held it up. I'm sorry.
No, it's totally fine.
All right.
But Ian and Mickey was my second choice.
Okay. All right. So Christine will answer the next one first. We'll switch off. She can do the next one.
Okay. Christine, with which fictional character do you most identify?
All right.
So no.
Yeah.
Does Tamar most identify? Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
I said Brenda Walsh. Yay!
That was really exciting.
All right.
This one I thought was really hard.
It is hard because,
I said Buffy Summers. What's
So
wrong?
I'm a hybrid.
Oh, come on.
I've said this before, like
such a good answer.
I'm a complicated person. I'm a hybrid of Liz Lemon, Leslie Knope, and Kimmy Schmidt, but the majority of it being Kimmy Schmidt because of how naive I am.
That's hilarious. I mean, I obviously never was going to say that, but that is very, very good.
I'm now keeping score, by the way. So you'll have your score.
I think we're tied 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah. Tamar, what is Christine's favorite shipping trope?
I said friends to lovers. That's also wrong.
The underdog.
The underdog is your favorite.
Nerdy boy / girl with the popular boy
Underdog.
/ girl.
Yeah.
That's my jam.
That's good.
I said that it is bad boys.
So I wrote antagonist to lovers, but I would give Christine half a point for bad boys because the bad boys usually end up being the antagonist in the antagonist to lovers trope.
You love the broken. You love a broken person who's got to get fixed.
That's a half a point, I think.
Half a point written down.
Okay.
Christine, what would Tamar say is the best sex scene between a ship of all time?
This is a hard question.
This was a hard one. This was a really hard one. Okay. Is it kitchen sex?
No.
Okay.
But that's what.
But now you're thinking about it, right?
I picked Nadia and Guzman in the locker room on a lead.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So no, it's not kitchen sex, but I picked kitchen sex for you.
And mine's not kitchen sex. It's Zoe and Wade in the barn. That's basically NC-17 level right there.
Funny. It's funny because that was the first one I answered. I was like, Christine talks about the Logan and Veronica kitchen sex scene more than anything.
I know, and then I was back and forth. I was back and forth on that one because I was like, wait, or was it Veronica having that really, really naked sex with Schmidt in the Veronica?
By the way, that dream sequence is the best scene in the whole season 4.
I'm not arguing.
Nadia and Guzman in the locker room, so good.
Or Nadia's dream about Guzman.
All of them, all of the Nadia and Guzman.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
right. See, those are now. I feel like we're out of the ones I thought I was going to get right, and now it's going to be downhill from here.
All right.
Who's going next?
I don't know. You pick.
Okay.
You pick.
Christine.
Okay.
Which character would Tamar, or which characters, because we decided we're going to do one male, one female,
Yes.
would Tamar most want one of her kids to bring home as a partner when they're grown up? Not talking like now.
So I thought about Tamar, and I thought about her relationship with her kids, and I thought about
You've already given this more thought than I did.
I thought about what kind of a person you'd be really excited for them to bring home.
Okay.
So I picked Patrick from Schitt's Creek and Nadia from Elite.
Those are both incredible answers.
Mm.
I didn't pick either of them.
Whoa.
Sutton,
Okay.
I feel like Sutton's like that. There was no way. It's so random, but she's like my favoriteest. And I mean, Pacey, please, everybody. I want 3 Paceys.
I don't think you're gonna get mine.
Okay.
I really threw you a curveball on this one.
Ben Wyatt and Annabeth Nath.
Lane Kim and Dave Rogowski.
Oh,
Either or both. I'm good. Listen, Lane is such a good friend. She would be a great partner.
Lane Kim is a good answer. That's a
Dave
good.
Rogowski is like the better version, the less selfish version of Seth Cohen.
That's good.
And if it's a throuple situation, that's a good throuple. I'm just saying.
No, those are good. I knew answering that question. I was like, if we get these, I was like,
I know it's gonna be like, what?
Okay.
All right, next.
Tamar,
Mhm.
with which ship would Christine most want to go on a double date?
So I don't like the answer I have written down. I sort of feel like I sort of want to call an audible. I just also want to say that I thought that Ben and Leslie was the answer to literally every question. And then I was like, okay, but I can't answer Ben and Leslie for every question.
I'll be honest with you. The answer to every question was almost Ben and Leslie. And then I said, I can't answer Ben and Leslie.
Yeah. So that's okay. But this one really feels like it should be Ben and Leslie.
It feels that way. But I picked Lavon.
Oh, by the way, so my answer that I called audible is Zoe and Wade. I wrote down Zoe and Wade, but I was just sitting here. I was like, I don't know.
Listen, Matt loves Lavon Hayes. Matt
fair.
loves his wardrobe. I feel like they would have a great conversation about like where he buys his clothes. I love Annabeth. We'd talk about baking. Nobody would talk about sports.
I thought you wanted
keep sports.
That's why I said I thought you want your kids to bring Annabeth home. I got you. I know.
All right.
Me. Oh, you have to answer. Who do I want?
I said David and Patrick.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. Yay! I'm really excited.
All right.
Christine is now winning, by the way. It's 2.5 to 1.
No, and now ask her the next one because the next one is a gimme.
It's a gimme.
Oh, yes.
Christine.
Mm-hmm.
Not for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Christine.
Yeah.
Which ship would Tamar say never happened but should have?
Zoe and George. Obviously, it's Zoe and George. We talk about it all the time on several podcasts.
Christine knows my answer to this. I do not know Christine's answer to this.
Really?
Oh, should I? Oh no, my answer. Oh, is it the same?
So much so that I put it down twice. Listen, Zoe and Wade, like Endgame, I love them.
Christine.
I wanted my man George to have a shot.
I did not put Zoe and George for you. I put something so random.
What did you put?
Donna and Dylan.
Okay, hang on. She's not wrong. I did want that.
I know.
And can I tell you why? Because you know why? Do you know why?
Yes, because of the opening credits.
Yes.
What?
Because in the opening credits of Beverly Hills 90210, there's that one quick cut when Dylan sniffs Donna's neck or her hair or whatever. Like he's like just sniffing her. And I looked at that and I was like, huh, they would make a really cute couple. But they're like the only two people on that show who never orbited at all, ever.
Huh.
And it's amazing.
I guess I know what I'll be watching
I
when
get
we
at
done with
least
this.
like E for effort. I get some credit for that here.
I would totally give Tamar a point for that because she's not wrong. If I had thought of that when I answered this question, that probably would have been the answer I went with.
I'm getting competitive here and I'm losing. All right. Go.
Tamar,
All right, what do you got next?
which ship would Christine defend to the grave or engage in a Twitter argument about?
I said Jess and Rory. But it's like,
Close.
I almost said that, except we just talked about how he's canceled.
Right, no, he is canceled for
That
sure.
was literally my first thought. And then I was like, no, we're not doing Christopher anymore because of the masks are dehumanizing nonsense.
No, absolutely, and like I get that. But they're still the ship that I wrote an article at Telltale TV about why it should have been
I
Christopher.
should have done it. I literally was like, no, we just had a conversation how we're not doing that anymore.
But also I will defend Jess and Rory until the revival, and then I'm not defending them
I
anymore.
know. That's how
And
I
I'm
got
like
to
Team Jess,
Rory.
no Rory.
I just like Lorelai and Christopher, and then I was like, no, and then I was like, but I'll stick with Gilmore Girls. Oh, I'm so mad. I knew that one.
I feel like you should get some kind of credit for getting the right show.
I feel like it too, yeah.
And now you're like patronizing me. I don't know.
No, not at all. So I said that you would defend Brenda and Dylan over Dylan and Kelly to the grave.
I'm just getting mad now.
All right.
Okay. Christine, what
Yes.
fictional character reminds Tamar most of her husband?
All right. So, Scott is a mysterious man. I don't know a lot about him, but the things that I do know about him are that he is a doctor and that he is very funny. So I chose JD from Scrubs.
It's a good guess.
Oh, I was close. I was in the right arena.
Maybe I texted my sisters today because I was like, help. This was like the question that I was like, I don't know. And JD was my sister Viva was like, I don't watch Scrubs, but that feels like the right answer. And I was like, it is. I'm like, JD's just like a little bit too goofy.
A little too silly, right?
Yeah. But I did want to pick a doctor. So that was close. I picked Seth Cohen for this. See, I'm not kidding. I literally for every answer was like, I want to say Ben and Leslie, and then I was like, but I can't. That's so annoying. I have it. It's fine. It's fine.
I have
So
to say, when I saw that answer, Christine, earlier today, I was like, this is really adorable because she said she put Leslie Knope as her top couple is Ben and Leslie.
They are the most adorable.
So my husband actually, when I told him about this question, he said, is it Ben or is it Nick from New Girl?
I picked Seth Cohen. I thought he was a really good pick, actually.
It is a really good pick. That's very solid.
And he's just your type. Like I thought,
Absolutely.
I thought he was the right pick.
Same arena, wrong age period.
Ben Wyatt was obviously the right answer. I just really I'm telling you, I had him for everything. And I was like, I gotta change this up. All right. I feel like I'm ready for this next one now.
Okay. Christine, what was Tamar's first ship?
Sunny and Brenda? No!
I actually came to realize this recently. Like that I kind of forgot how much I ship Jesse and Slater, but like that is my first bad boy antagonist to lovers ship right there. Okay. Haley and Brian.
Yes! Kelly Ripa and Matt Borlengi for life.
I was so close to writing Winnie and Kevin.
And that would have been the next one.
And then I remembered.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got that one, I was like, I know what it is.
I'm proud of you.
This one's hard.
Okay. Tamar, what is Christine's favorite ship that wasn't Endgame?
I said Finn and Ray from my Mad Fat Diary. Oh. That's a good one.
So Finn and Ray not being Endgame, I was totally okay with that because I really liked the way they wrote it. It was like a disappointment, but it was like in real life, like, yeah, this is about what would happen in real life. I love Lemon and Levon. Obviously, they went on my updated top 10, but I really loved AB.
I know you do.
I said Will and Alicia.
That's a good one, but
that would have been my next guess.
can't beat my Tim and Lila. All right. This one, if either of us get this, I can't.
I don't think that you're going to get what I wrote. No. I actually think you're going to see what I wrote and you're going to go, what?
Who am I
Okay,
asking? Christine. Yes.
Yes.
Which ship would make the prettiest babies?
This is
What Tamar thinks would make the prettiest babies.
I said Nadia and Guzman for this one.
You know what? That's a really good answer too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beautiful babies.
I said
Between her big blue eyes and his general sexiness.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I said Cindy and Vaughn for this for you.
That's a good answer. I actually said Rusty and Ashley from Greek. Okay, hang on. I'm going to explain myself. I think, I'm like, legitimately, I think that Amber Stevens West is the most beautiful woman on the planet.
That is.
She's gorgeous.
Accurate.
And, you know, Rusty's got those big eyes. And I would imagine that like his eyes and his curly hair and just like everything else about her, it would be a beautiful baby.
I don't think you're wrong. All right. We got 2 left.
I love this question, by the way.
I'm still upset about Ben Wyatt because I knew it was Ben Wyatt, but I was just like, enough with the Ben Wyatt.
It's okay.
All right.
Strategy is supposed to be that you just pick the same thing over knowing you'll get some right.
All right.
I'm switching to the bottle.
Okay. There's my girl.
Mm-hmm.
Which character did Christine most want to be her prom date?
I said Pacey Witter. Seth Cohen. Yeah.
I feel so bad for you right now.
Pacey Witter.
Okay. So like you had the 2 right boys, you just had them in the wrong order.
Yeah. That doesn't make me feel better. Okay.
Seth Cohen is teenage Ben Wyatt. That's my theory. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's so sad because I feel like I didn't answer Seth Cohen for that because I already had Seth Cohen. You know, it's like all dominoes.
All right. For you, for this one, I said Tim Riggins.
Which would have been the answer, except Tim Riggins didn't come into my life until after college. So I answered this like who I wanted to go to prom with.
Okay. Oh.
Which like close second, Jordan Catalano.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I hear that.
So this one, we're going to answer this is our last question. We're going to answer it together at the same time. I know I'm very nervous.
I'm very nervous too.
So what ship best characterizes your relationship with each other?
We want to just hold it up.
I guess so.
Okay.
I'm so curious what you said.
Oh my God.
Oh, so cute. Oh, I'm sorry to see that. I thought that we had like a conversation about doing a romantic ship. So I purposely picked this one, but that one's so good. This one I love because they work together. Well, so do they. I can't really argue that one. That one's just perfect. But I thought we were supposed to be doing a romantic one. So I picked him. They work together and they fell in love with each other while they were working together, and they make each other laugh, and it just felt like the right fit. And you can explain why you picked yours, but I feel like it's fairly self.
I think it's pretty obvious. Yeah. Just supportive ladies, always there at the drop of a dime. I can literally call Tamar any time of day for anything. And if she doesn't have a child hanging off of her, and sometimes even if she does.
Yeah.
Just, I love Tamar. This seems exactly right. Don't cry.
I might.
Oh boy.
That was so fun. I mean, not that you have to, but
right.
What was the final score?
I think it was 4.5 to 2.
All right.
Who had 4.5? I got 4.5, right?
Shut up. You know it was you.
This is like when people play categories with me. This is why no one will play categories with me.
Categories with Christine. I do not understand how it's possible, but this girl comes up with answers for every letter. It doesn't matter what the category is. It is insane.
It's all the years of pop-up video. I don't apologize. Oh, goodness.
All right. Well, that was very enjoyable. And I think that now I feel like we've got the technology down. We know how to do this live stream thing.
Yeah.
I think do this
Ashley is backing me up about my category.
We all would back you up about your category.
Do it. Don't play with her. I'm telling you. I'm not going to fall asleep tonight. I'm just going to be like Ben Wyatt. Like over and over again in my head. I'm so mad.
It's really fine.
Do you
At least you didn't say Joel.
Right here, Joel. You know what's funny? Do you want to know what's so funny? I almost really messed with you because with the question about Scott, about like who reminds me of my husband, I was gonna say Jonah Breland just to make you. I was like, I feel like I should maybe do
That's not funny.
So here's the thing. I feel like the game is supposed to uncover like if you know each other, and I feel like despite the very few answers that we actually got right, I feel like we know each other very well.
I think so too. We had really good explanation.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This was such a blast, and we are beyond grateful for all of you for making this show what it is, and we're super excited to be part of the Frolic Podcast Network and to be back with other episodes. And thanks for tuning in.
5 more years.
5 more years.
Beyond.
Yeah. And if you haven't signed up for our newsletter, we are at tinyletter.com/shippingroom, and you can subscribe, and we're going to be sending out monthly newsletters with information about episodes that have just passed, maybe some teasers for episodes that are coming, as well as potential ships to watch, ships that we are just getting into and think have top 10 potential.
Yep.
And what else?
The newsletter.
I know. We would like to challenge everybody to get us an anniversary present, which is leaving us a review if you haven't done that yet on Apple Podcasts. I think it would be super cool if the shipping room had like a resurgence of popularity on Apple Podcasts now that we are part of this network and we're back weekly.
Yeah.
So leaving reviews is the quickest way to do that. You know, if you get an influx of reviews at once, it kind of like bumps your podcast up in visibility. So that would be super cool. And a really lovely way to say happy anniversary if you haven't done that yet. I think that's it.
Yeah.
I love you. I love you.
I love you.
All right, everyone. We will hopefully do this again soon. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Bye.